we had to undertake a major banking crisis reform that we consolidated a number of banks. At that time, 2018, 2019, this cost almost close to $7 billion for the country to save the banking system, almost $7 billion. Now, the choice that was available was either you let the banking system collapse or you save it. There was really no middle way. Whose deposits were you going to let go? And we had to save the banking system and the deposits of 4.6 million people. Of course, we also had COVID come in at the end of 2019, and we had the worst economic depression since the 1930s in the global economy, and COVID had its major impact. Of course, from the president's point of view at the time of COVID, the emphasis was to save lives and was not on fiscal discipline. And so we had to basically focus on saving lives at great fiscal cost. But before we could know it, Russia and Ukraine also came to add to our troubles. And we are dealing with those issues. So fiscal discipline really is the ability of government to balance revenues and expenditures. And when discipline is not maintained, expenditures inevitably exceed revenues, and that creates a deficit. Following where we are, government has focused in the 2022 budget on fiscal consolidation to enhance debt and fiscal sustainability as we implement our economic revitalization and transformation program. The measures that have been implemented in the 2022 budget include validation and revenue-enhanced measures to reposition our economy. Indeed, the implementation of the measures highlighted in the 2022 budget should lead to a significant fiscal adjustment from a projected deficit of 12.1% of GDP in 2021 to 7.4% of GDP in 2022. And this represents a 4.7 percentage point adjustment, a downward adjustment in the deficit in 1 year. In January 2022, government announced and began implementing a 20% expenditure cut as part of the fiscal stabilization and debt sustainability measures through the Minister for Finance. And this was followed by an additional 10% cut in discretionary expenditure, all in an attempt to balance the fiscal position and restore fiscal discipline following the banking crisis, the COVID, the Ukraine and Russia war, and so on. In addition, the Ministry of Finance has strengthened expenditure monitoring systems and processes to ensure effective implementation of these measures. For instance, government called for efficient use of energy resources, and in line with this, fuel coupon allocations to all political appointees and heads of government institutions, including SOEs, were cut by 50%.